Bringing you the voice and vision of custom culture and lifestyle, as seen through the eyes of this South Texas duo. Welcome to the Custom Couple. All right, welcome to the Custom Couple. Tonight's a solo mission with Lane, but we'll get through it. We promise. It's those fun things that Sam likes to throw at us because of being a nurse and all. She gets stuck at the hospital too often, and we decided we needed to go ahead and get out our episode with Menace. Menace, what's going on, bud?
Not much. How's it going, buddy?
Not too horrible. You love my fake radio voice that I use for all these podcasts?
Your radio spectacular. It's like kind of, very whitish.
I love it. Yeah, I've started to do more promotional stuff for the show, and today I even did a little video promo, like I was trying to throw out to the folks, and yeah, I realized I have a face for radio. But
right.
Man, it really is good talking with you. I know we've sat here and talked for a bit before we even started recording, but I haven't seen you in a couple years, and now it's just good to have you on the phone, bud.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw you, I made you a greasy shark.
Yes, you did, man. Yes, you did. I've mentioned it a few times on the show. It's definitely been an honor, and I'm still the only one in Texas. So
I think the last one I've done too. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm going to have to get one of y'all to come down to Texas at some point, because I can't be the only one in Texas forever. I know this.
Oh, no.
I know this.
Need to make a few more.
But what have you been up to, man? How's everything going in the custom culture and lowbrow art world on your side?
Things are rocking and rolling. Speaking of rock and roll, I've started trying to get into rock art a little bit.
Tell me what that is. I'm dying to know now.
Well, just art for bands.
I got you. Okay, yeah.
Some rock art. Coop did it. Kozik did it. Dirty Donnie, like all these other lowbrow artists. Back in the 90s, they did screen printed rock posters. There was a craze for those posters back then, and some of that art that's out there is some of the coolest, best art, that I've ever seen. And a lot of it gets real wacky too. There's just really no limit as to what you can do. So recently I did a piece for the Goddamn Gallows.
Yeah.
Who they are just one of my absolute favorite bands. And I did this piece. They didn't solicit me. I just did this piece and was like, well, it's their style. I know it's their style because I'm a fan, and I'm going to see if they dig it. And they were just all about it, and they loved it. And they made silkscreen posters of it, and they intend to make t-shirts of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was really killer. And
that's always a good feeling too, when you're a fan of something or someone, or bands of that sort. You go out of your way and do something, and they actually show true appreciation for it and dig it. That's always a really good feeling.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, man. I just had a wild hair, and I had an idea and had to put it on the paper. And send it on over to them. So, and I also just recently, Electric Frankenstein put out a book that's over 300 pages, and it's their song lyrics that are illustrated by over 100 artists.
Oh, wow.
So,
That sounds amazing.
there's too many artists that I could even list. Coop is one of them. He's in there.
Yeah.
There's just too many artists that I could even list, but I have a 2-page comic strip in that book.
Oh, man, that's freaking cool. Is this book still for sale?
Oh yeah, it's currently for sale through Clover Press, and I think you can actually find it on Amazon as well. It's called Electric Frankenstein Illustrated Lyrics.
We'll definitely have to look that one up because I probably need to add that to my collections as well.
Oh yeah, dude, the amount of artists in there is just like I said, over 100 artists, and some people that I feel are way better than me. So
Yeah, and I feel the same way about the things that I do. I'm like, man, there's so many people that are doing this better than I am, but I'm out here doing it. God damn it!
right, we're doing it. We're just in our little corner,
right? Hey,
doing our thing.
There's a ton of people out there that'll sit there and say that they're better than you, but they're not doing a damn thing. So at least we're doing it.
That's true.
What else have you been up to, man? Are you staying busy in your day-to-day life as well?
Well, it's winter. My day-to-day life is, going to work and then coming home and working on artwork. There's no high rod stuff going on for me right now. I don't have anywhere to work on my stuff in the winter, really. I ended up getting a 67 Chevy van.
Oh, cool.
Which is the flat front style van. And this thing was one owner since 76, and it was definitely a boogie van. I found it had brown fur all over it with a bed in back and a sink and a fridge. Like, I had to tear all that stuff out because it was all falling apart. And when I tore it all out and cleaned the van out, I ended up finding an an unused condom, three joints, and several roach clips. So I was like, yeah, this is definitely a boogie van.
Damn it.
Yeah. But that's like, I don't have, I've got a few things to do to it. It's running and driving. There's a few things I want to do, disc conversion and change out a few things to make it more roadworthy. Fix one of the doors, but
what kind of engines did they use in those flat style vans like that? How is it even set up? I've never torn into one to see.
This one's a 6-cylinder 3 on the tree. But the 1967 was the second generation, and they actually had a V8 option, so you could actually get a V8 in there. The doghouse is big enough to fit a V8 in there, stock.
Yeah. So that engine's basically sitting right there next to you, like just underneath the sheet metal, but it's sitting there.
Right. You're sitting over the front wheels.
Okay. Yeah.
In the cab, and the engine is like almost behind you. In the middle there, because it's a flat fronted van.
Yeah.
You got to drive. It's weird to drive these things too, because you're sitting over the front wheels. So like the way that you turn and your turning radius is different than in a normal car. You know what I'm saying? Like, Um, I, if you've never driven one, it's really hard to explain unless you're like there behind the wheel and you're like, oh yeah, that's a curb.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like driving the city bus around.
Yeah, basically, or a fire truck.
Or a fire truck, yeah. I would
Yeah.
imagine it's something similar to that. That's cool. I've just never been around one enough to see how they're all set up. I've always kind of wondered that with with it being a flat front, how where's that engine sitting and how is it all set up? But that's really cool to know that you picked one up, man. I always relate those vans to the murder vans, the vans out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that's what I always relate those flat fronted vans to. So that's freaking rad, man. Vanner life. I think that's on the upswing right now, along with custom culture. I think everybody out there is picking up these vans. So
Yeah,
start seeing more shows geared towards that.
the first car I had bought with my own money was a '70s short wheelbase van. And it was a custom van. It had flares all the way around and moonroofs and shag carpet in it, and a built-in cooler. There was actually a company in St. Louis called Fantasy Coach Works back in the day that customized a lot of cars out here. And they had done that van a long time ago, and when I was in my early 20s, I bought it. Everything was pretty much dilapidated, but for a 20-year-old kid, it was cool as shit.
Man, I know exactly what you mean, man. We get into that moment where it's like, man, this is my first car. I'm gonna buy the coolest damn thing, and it could be anything. And through your eyes, it's the coolest damn thing.
Oh yeah, as long as it's old.
Oh yeah, of course. I actually got a.
It is not the coolest damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
I actually got one of our critics out there that likes to always message me. He's actually a really good friend of mine, but he always messages me after each of our podcasts. And one of our last ones I did, I tell everybody, "Oh, my first car was a truck," and that, like, I say it exactly like that all the time. Like, my first car was a truck. It was a '79 Chevy square body, right? And he always makes fun of me. He's like, "Yeah, your first car was a truck." I was like, "Yeah, because I'm from Texas. Like, that's what we say." Like,
right.
And it was an old truck, so I'm proud of that damn truck. I let it go for too little money, but I was a kid, so that's kind of how things go, man.
Right. I mean, I lived in Oklahoma for a while, so there was so many trucks running around with gun racks.
Oh, absolutely.
That was just the norm. Just totally normal.
Yeah. South Texas is no different. Of course, in our bigger cities like us here in San Antonio, like it's not as much country as everybody likes to think all of Texas is, but yeah, definitely in like the smaller towns out here, you still see 14-year-old kids driving pickup trucks with gun racks on the backs of it. That's right. Just what we do.
Yeah.
What have you got for car shows coming up in the spring? I know it's winter time right now, so everybody's chomping at the bit as all these flyers start coming out for the new shows. What are you going to try to make it out to?
There's two in May that I know that I'm going to, and one is Vintage Torque Fest. And I
haven't made it out to that one.
Yeah, you need to. That show is awesome. That's Dubuque, Iowa, and that's actually the last weekend of April, beginning of May. And there's another show. Actually, I have a flyer. No, I don't have a flyer. The Midway Moonshine Mashup, and I believe that's May 15th, 16th, something like that. And this is in Southern Missouri, and these guys have a dirt track and dirt drags, and you get to race your cars around the dirt track, and you can do dirt drags, and they do mini bike drags, and it's a pretty cool show. It's going to be the second year of that show. I got to see a little bit of it last year, and it was just awesome.
Man, that sounds awesome. We used to have a really cool show here in San Antonio that was like that. It was a moonshine run, and they had a track set up. It was a dirt track out on a little piece of property, right? And it twist and wind through some trees, and it come out, and and what they did with it was at one part of the track they set up a bunch of crates with moonshine in them, and you would take your car on the track, get to that spot, and then have to load up the moonshine into your car and then drive the rest of the track. And they were taking whatever the best times were and such. But it was such a fun thing to be a part of. And I guess in recent years they haven't been able to set it up, or they weren't able to use the property anymore or whatever. I'm not sure what happened with the show, but it went away. So more stuff like that needs to come about. I love car shows that have a theme or have something more than just, hey, let's just go park our car and be done with it. Like, I love like all these little events that have like actual things to do. So
like drag.
Exactly.
I really want to mention, like, I have a 1926 Model T, and it's streetable, but it's set up to drag race. And my car club was founded in the process of rebuilding my Model T. There was 5 of us that formed a car club in the Decent Boys Car Club in the process of rebuilding my Model T. And we did it in 9 months and made it to the ham drags in Mocan, and fired the engine 3 weeks before the ham drags. And then I raced, and that was the first time I raced anything in my life, which was a 1926 Model T. And I ran 12.0 at 110 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
So this was 2012. So here we are, 2022. So it's the 10-year anniversary of my club. It's the 10-year anniversary of the build. And I have got to drag race this thing sometime this year.
Absolutely, man. Like that's freaking badass, man. Like, I hope with all the traveling that Sam and I are supposed to be doing this year, I really hope that you and I can cross paths, and it would be even cooler if we can do that at a show where you're going to drag race that Model T. That'd be so awesome.
I'm hoping to hit the ham drags again. I'm still not sure if it's actually even happening this year, because they haven't updated their website or anything like that. But I'm hoping to be able to hit that same racetrack in that same event, 10 years later, to do that. I know one event that I'm going to attend is the Southeast Gassers event, and that's in Indiana. That's in July. Sorry, I don't have the dates or anything for that.
That's fine. We'll when we get off of here, we can whenever you do have flyers or dates or whatever, you can just share them with me, and I'll get them out to all of our listeners that are interested in hitting up some of these spots. Because of course, what we'd love to do is just completely just saturate our whole social media with flyers of car shows and stuff coming up.
Absolutely.
Because we got to get the word out, man. Like we got to get people out to these events, because it was car shows that really got me into like really full-fledged into the culture. You know, getting out to these events is important, you know, on all aspects of, you know, being a part of this whole culture. I tell people all the time, you know, I picked up a car because I thought it was cool, for one, and it was, and I didn't really get into loving that car, loving any of this until I took it to Lone Star Roundup for the first time. Like that,
Right.
you know, that right there, you know, getting out to all these shows, that's what's going to be, you know, really important to the culture, you know, and it's what's almost killed our culture with, you know, with COVID happening and everybody canceling all the shows and everything, and nobody being able to get out and take their car anywhere. It's like, it's almost like, you know, yeah, you can daily drive these cars and you can, you know, take them, you know, back and forth to work with you or whatever. But when you don't have an event to go hang out with other car people, like that's where, you know, it really kind of, you know, puts a damper on everything. And like, you just want to get out to car shows and meetups and all that, you know. So this year, I think is going to be huge for it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Uh, the I was able to do a few shows at the end of the year last year and during the middle of the year. You know, the one thing for me is like I'm an artist in the culture and I have my business and I want to do shows where I can bring my merchandise and show off my artwork and all that. But the thing is I'm also a hot rodder, so I want to drive my hot rod to these shows, you know,
Right.
and hang out. You know, vending is nice, but it means I'm working.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. We've talked
I,
about that as well. You know, like we go out and do something for the podcast. It's like are we going to take all of our equipment out for recording and everything as well? You know, are we going to sell T-shirts? Are we going to, you know, have a booth and set up? Because then you're almost stuck in your booth all day. Like if you don't have anybody else to help you work it.
you are. I know. Yeah.
But
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still fun, you know, and uh I've got enough people that I know and enough good friends of mine that usually somebody comes over and gives me a break for a little bit and I can go walk around and take some pictures and check things out. And you know, sometimes I have people with me all day, sometimes not. But it's still, you know, great fun whether I'm vending or whether I'm just attending these shows.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, you know what the other question I was gonna ask you, man, is like you've put out a bunch of coloring books. So like when you're out at
Sure.
these shows, those are some of the things that you vended, and I've picked up a couple of them from you. Have you done any recently?
Uh, well, right now at this point, I've done 5 coloring books.
Oh, okay. I think I picked up
So
like maybe your first two, I believe. So I still got to get some from you.
I did, I did 2 of them that were just monsters, basically the heads of monsters. And those books every year I donate to children's hospitals for kids in there on Halloween.
Yeah.
Um, and those are just the monster ones. And then I ended up doing some hot rod monster ones. And you may have one of the first hot rod monster ones. And I just came out with a second one. It's Menace Hot Rod Monster Coloring Book 1 and 2. I've got those. And then I recently put a coloring book out on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
And that one's called the Lowbrow Menace.
Yeah, I've seen you post that one up on Instagram a few times now.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was an interesting thing to do. I wanted to try and reach more people potentially. And with that one, I don't have to hold stock on it. They print it and they ship it when people buy it, so I don't have to hold stock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's, an advantage to doing that. Uh, I still have my other books, though, that are only available through me. So, and my website, which would be Thorazine2step.com.
There you go, man. Yeah, no, having somebody else print and distribute, that's always a way simpler way to go. Because I know we've done it both ways with T-shirts, where we would have T-shirts printed and then we're selling them, or we'll have somebody else do all of the work for us and then just give us a cut. And oh man, it's so much simpler when somebody else is filling your orders for you.
Oh. I have my basement is full of shipping boxes, bubble wrap.
Oh, our office too, man.
Yeah.
But like, there's that little bit of a personal touch to it when you're doing all of your own work. Like Sam, she loves to include a postcard in all of our orders when we were shipping out T-shirts. And so everybody gets a handwritten postcard every time we were shipping out a T-shirt, which is awesome because then, of course, everybody posts it on their pages when it comes in the mail, and they share us. It's really cool feeling on that end of it. So like I liked that part of it, and she was real smart and wanting to do that. I didn't even think of that. She was like, "Hey, we need to write each of these people a note for thank them for supporting us." I was like, right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So like, there's that part of it that I enjoy, the whole personal aspect of it. But then like when you have 100 orders in 1 week, like that's where it gets kind of wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I've been inundated with orders before. I've had lots of orders. I've had little orders, One thing I always try and do is stick extra stickers in everything.
Oh, people love stickers. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't give out enough extra stickers for some reason. I probably go in the red as much as I give away sometimes, but
oh, I'm the same way when it comes to the little trinkets, stuff like that, like stickers and keychains and things like that. It's like I love giving people, stuff that they can go and put on bathroom walls somewhere.
You're right.
Or gas station pumps.
Right. Street signs,
absolutely. Yeah, whenever we go to like downtown, either downtown here in San Antonio or we go to like 6th Street in Austin, we always try to slap stickers on all the street signs and things of that nature. Always a good time.
It's common.
But all right, brother. What you also had mentioned? I don't know. Are you allowed to talk about the Barris coloring book?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You also had mentioned that you were gonna have something to do with it. So tell our folks about that a little bit.
Well, Barris Customs is coming out with the Barris Custom Coloring Book, coloring with a K, and it's going to be a collection of artists with a lot of the Barris cars. And I'm fortunate enough to be one of the artists and had an assignment to do one of the vehicles for their coloring book, and that coloring book should be coming out in 2022 from Last Gas Publishing.
That's really awesome, man. That's so cool to be a part of a big project like that. What's the car that you're doing?
Well, actually, the car is the car.
Oh, okay.
So it's from the old 70s horror movie, The Car.
Oh, that is really cool.
And so the car I did was The Car.
I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that don't even know the movie or The Car.
Oh yeah, you'll have
so they have to go and look that up. But that's really freaking cool, man. I mean, you've been a part of like so many really cool projects, man. Are you still doing stuff with cartoons?
Yes, I am. I have a comic that's on hold with them. It's just a matter of when they can fit it in. So that would be my fourth or fifth comic with them. Just recently they had one of my drawings and art tunes. And I just recently sent them some color pieces that may be made into mini posters. We'll see. That's just to be determined. But yeah, that's a dream come true. I read cartoons when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And my brother and I, my older brother, we used to send stuff in trying to get into the reader section. So when I first got into cartoons, my older brother was like, "Oh, dude, you fulfilled a childhood dream for both of us."
Absolutely, man. That is too cool.
And then watch this, dude. I'm going to write a comic. He was like, "Oh shit."
That is too cool. Were y'all the kids that got in trouble at school for drawing on your desks and not paying attention in class?
Absolutely. Yeah. Even I always drew monsters and skulls and cars, and my high school art teacher, studio art, didn't like it, and I got F's.
Oh, wow.
Because I was supposed to be doing some Georgia O'Keeffe flowers and stuff like that, but that wasn't me.
Yeah, you're not into drawing a bunch of flowers that look like vaginas?
No. Thank you for saying that for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No holds barred. No filters.
Blake, yeah, check it out.
So I'm not gonna draw a flower that looks like one. I'll just draw the chick herself.
Right.
But all right, my man. Well, I will let you get back to your normal daily life. Of course, in the wintertime, that just means you're going to be up there trying not to freeze your ass off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we don't get that down here in San Antonio. So,
but
that's
nice.
But absolutely appreciate you being on the show. It's been a long time coming, especially since you were on the Rust Culture Project so many years ago, and you and I have been friends for these past several years, man. I've been wanting to get you onto the Custom Couple podcast for a bit, so I absolutely appreciate you being on the show, bud.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to give some shout outs to?
Absolutely. The Decent Boys Car Club, the Creepers Car Club, Frankie and Josh and Erica and Andy, Robert Cruz, who's a good buddy of mine, and just all the other artists local to St. Louis, Chris and Dan and Aaron and Kelly, and everybody that supports my work. Just thank you very much. I wouldn't be doing it without you.
Absolutely. None of us would be doing any of this without the folks that are supporting us. So right. That's a great message to send out to the world, man. Everybody that's supporting what we're doing and supporting custom culture, we thank you. And in all things custom, keep it cool.
Bing, bang, boom. See you next Tuesday.
Don't say see you next Tuesday.
I can poop anywhere.
We know.